All right, Trial Mob, absolutely bombshell announcement made this morning by Games Workshop through their Instagram, through their main Instagram page. The one thing that a lot of people have been asking for, and I don't think anybody foresaw this coming. I sure as hell didn't. But we're about to go ahead and go over what was announced today, and I think you guys are already getting a good idea of what was said. So let's go ahead and break it down. So, in a completely unprecedented move by Games Workshop, they have now made the Joy Toy Incursors and Infiltrators available to order from GamesWorkshop.com. You'll be able to get it for 1 week only, from the 25th of September to what I believe would be the 1st or 2nd of October. So, you will have a 1 week window if you are not in China to be able to put in your order from Games Workshop to be able to get your made to order incursors and infiltrators. Now, currently on their Instagram, I believe they posted about them both, but we only got a special video for, I want to say, the infiltrators, which is perfectly fine. It doesn't matter because they've mentioned the fact that they will be doing both, which is absolutely incredible. Again, I don't think none of us saw this coming, since as far as we knew, it was supposed to be a Chinese exclusive, right? So this is something that has completely changed the nature of this release. Now, here is something that is really dope to consider about this whole situation. So, as you guys know from the jump, this was supposed to be a China exclusive. And as far as I can tell, it is, because they are already getting into the hands of people who were able to get from Chinese dealers. You know, Awesome Action Toys, I believe, already got his set and already has a review out. So here's the big news on this. The fact that Games Workshop is deciding to do this means a couple of things, and this is what I really wanted to talk about. First of all, I wonder if they really have been listening to the people have been saying that they want it, and maybe because Joy Toys probably sold out through every single distributor that they have, Games Workshop most likely noticed that this is probably a big money move for them. Now, they want to cash in, but I think the other part about it is that this means that most likely the very first wave of all of this stuff was supposed to have been a China exclusive. Now, this second wave that we're going to be getting is probably supposed to be for the worldwide audience. So that means that every single thing that Joy Toy potentially puts out, most likely, if they sell well, Games Workshop will be giving it to us. Now, here's the one pitfall behind that. So obviously, Joy Toy most likely has the rights to sell this stuff via their exclusive deal, and their first wave will always be an exclusive no matter what. But Games Workshop will be facilitating that second wave. Now, the big downfall to that is that, yes, you'll still be able to get them, but there will be at least a 6-month waiting period, because that's the way that I've seen it before through Games Workshop, is that every single time that I put in a made to order, it's always taken them at least 6 months to get them out, because they put in a bulk order that gets made from the first one to the very last one, and then they get sent out. So it doesn't matter if your figure was the very first one off the line, you will have to wait as long as it takes them to fulfill the entire order before Games Workshop gets them and starts handing them out. So that is something to note. So the photos that we're seeing here are just basically some of the stuff that we were able to get in that video. Obviously looking real nice. You guys already know what these look like. We've covered them extensively, but this is definitely something that I was not, I shouldn't say prepared for. I just didn't think this was going to happen. Honestly, I don't have the most respect for Games Workshop, especially after what they did to their YouTube community. Instead of partnering up with them, they basically destroyed a bunch of accounts, that sucks. It sucks that they would go and do that. And right now they're money hungry. So the reality is, you are voting heavily with your dollar when you decide to buy something. And most likely, if Joy Toy continues doing this, Games Workshop will continue making these figures, or at least giving us access to these figures, even if they're second wave figures. But even if it takes 6, 7, a year maybe, you will still be able to get your hands on these at some point on a worldwide basis. Now, one of the main things that I want to point out is the fact that Games Workshop hasn't necessarily, or at least I haven't seen it, I haven't seen them put any kind of cap on this. So they didn't say, oh, first 1,000, or we have 6,000 ready for you guys to purchase and we'll put in the order. It seems to be a no cap, so you're able to buy potentially as many as you want. Now, I'm gonna have to cover this a bit later to see if there really are any other differences. There are none that I can tell, at least. So you'll be able to put in probably more than one if you want more than one. Now, I don't like the fact that it's a 1 week and they tell us 1 week prior, because this leaves us not a lot of time to be able to save up money. A lot of people have bills and they're only putting it up for 1 week, and they're letting us know 1 week ahead of time, which is kind of smart, right? Because in 2 weeks, you'll most likely get paid and you'll be able to pay for these, but still, it's just something to note. Now, the last thing I want to mention is by Games Workshop doing this, by Games Workshop choosing to do this route and go ahead and give us this stuff the way that they're giving it to us. This means that this is the breakthrough of 118 into the entire world. There hasn't, I know we've gotten 118 stuff on BBTS and all that kind of stuff, but the fact that what was supposed to have been a China exclusive has now turned into a worldwide release means that I think this is going to be what launches the 118th scale action figures into basically the mainstream media, right? This is probably going to get a lot of coverage, especially now that it's no longer going to be a China exclusive. I mean, again, that first set will be, but it sounds like the second set is going to be a worldwide thing. So that is something to note. So for a lot of us that are in this community, who have been in this community, who've been making content, people like Skellywags TV, myself, Awesome Action Toys, like this is something that, you know, is going to launch a lot of this stuff into the mainstream media and hopefully allow us to have more outlets for us to enjoy these products. All right, you guys, and the last thing I wanted to mention was just that simply I understand a lot of people's frustrations when it comes to this. The fact that this is supposed to be a China exclusive, now it's a made to order, now it's a worldwide release. People have paid probably top dollar to get them if they could, you know, and it's just been a lot of juggling back and forth of what's supposed to have been, you know, I mean, you guys remember I was kind of devastated when I found out that, you know, I was covering this a lot and that they weren't going to end up being available to us. So it's just been a bit of a roller coaster, and I do hope that ultimately Joy Toy and Games Workshop can get their shit right and just either sell it or not sell it to the public, or at least make it clear how it's going to be available. But I'd love to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section, so please let me know, because I imagine there will be a little bit of controversy around this decision.